kind of dump a little bit of this on you. What I'm trying to do with my article for Decibel Geek is mainly just like what the day was like, you know. So what was it like for you? How did it start today? When did you get here?
It was a long day. It started out long, and it has been an incredible day. We flew from Nashville actually last night, and then we got stuck in Atlanta, spent the night there, and then flew really early this morning. So we kind of got here, and we were the first band up on main stage, man. So we hit the ground running, but it was awesome, man. It's always a fun challenge to be the first one up, you know.
I thought you did good.
Thanks a lot, dude.
Like that. I got some really cool pictures. So you're kind of new to the scene, or is this your first record, or?
No, man, we've been around about 18 years, long time.
Out of where?
This is about our 9th record. Toronto.
Okay, another Canadian band.
Yeah.
I have some questions for you then. This might be fun. I might be able to tie it in a little bit of a beat.
Let's do it.
Let me get him out of here. I spoke with 3 Days Grace earlier, and
we grew up in the same town, brother.
as long as you have a sense of humor, you're gonna have a little fun here. I didn't. My whole agenda here was if I got a chance to talk to anybody, I wasn't gonna get too heavy into the how's the tour, what's the new record. More questions I wanted to know. I kind of covered Canada, what it's like to tour in Canada, but you've been up there. There's a lot of really good bands that come out of Canada.
There is, man.
But you know, I don't know what it's like. You know, is there a scene?
There is, man. There's, I mean, honestly, it's a lot like the U.S. that way. You know, it's pretty parallel. There's a lot of great cities that have. I mean, there's less population in Canada, but we have there's about 5-6 major cities that have really great music scenes, man.
Yeah, and Toronto being one of them.
Yeah, Calgary.
And North by Northwest is out of Toronto, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's one of the places for that, and yeah, it's awesome, man. Honestly, we grew up listening to a bunch of bands that we didn't realize a bunch of our American friends didn't even know about, you know, and stuff like that. So it's been it's been interesting.
Is Kim Mitchell like a god in Canada?
He used to be. I don't know about anymore.
Go for soda.
Yeah. Patio lanterns.
Yeah, I love Rush. Well, who doesn't really? I mean,
Come on, yeah, classic.
all right, I got 5 myths of Canada, and you can either tell me they're true or false.
Love it.
All right, are you afraid of the dark?
No.
If I was to bump into you from behind, would you apologize to me and then give me a donut?
I would apologize to you. I don't have any donuts. Or I might do that.
All right, this next question will only happen if when you're at home. Do you stop in at Tim Hortons at least 4 times a week?
I used to. A little less often these days.
Okay.
Yes, it is true.
Where else are you going to strap a feet on? Does everybody in Canada wish Dave Coulier and Alanis Morissette had worked it out?
That's an interesting question. When I think about her, I think of her and Ryan Reynolds. I don't even know who is that dude.
Dave Coulier was he was a Full House.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Totally.
Comedian. The song is about him.
I know. Yeah. Okay. Now I know who you're talking about.
And the last one is that you don't have any paved roads.
Not true.
Well, what would you say?
We do have television and radio.
What would you say is the biggest misconception Americans have about Canada?
The biggest misconception? Dude, we get some hilarious questions. I think just the size of the country.
Yeah?
Because we have friends and, you know, a bunch of great American bands that'll come to Canada to play, and we'll be on tour and they'll call and be like, bro, you gotta come to our show tonight. We're playing in Vancouver. And we're like, dude, you're like 3 days away from driving.
It's very large.
So it's definitely a little trickier to tour Canada than the U.S. because the actual major cities that you can tour are so far apart, man.
Right.
So you can tour Canada for about a good 2 weeks. That's about it, you know.
Any other Canadian bands of note that you've worked with?
Man, we've been out with a bunch over the years. I mean, there used to be a bunch of bands that we grew up on, you know, like Our Lady Peace, Finger 11. We played a bunch of shows with all those guys back in the day, and obviously love our brothers in 3 Days Grace and used to be My Darkest Days, and now with them and all that stuff. But yeah, there's some great Canadian bands, man. I'm trying to think. Monster Truck. Love those dudes.
I don't think I've heard of them.
No?
No. They're good?
They're awesome.
Yeah. Now, Nickelback more of an embarrassment for Canada now, or, you know, they kind of had I don't know, as far as perception, that they're viewed a lot differently than, say, they were at one point.
I would have to agree. I can't say too much about that, because, you know, we gotta respect what they do, and they do it well, man, so.
My honest opinion, it's not my cup of tea, but at least they sound like themselves.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's actually because you don't have to like everything, but when you just start copying them, and so many people have copied them.
It's true.
So.
They're like I feel like, I don't want to like draw this comparison if they're listening to this, but they're
No,
almost...
trust me, they won't. I'm so small.
As a friend and a fan of music, I feel like they're kind of like Creed in the sense where everybody hated Creed, but everybody bought the record.
Right.
I mean, they're like,
yeah, definitely.
I can't
It's
find
a great
friend who's
correlation.
Like, I'm
so.
a Nickelback fan, but yet everybody bought the record, so
Sure.
that's gotta be
Well,
something to it.
let me throw in a pitch for Decibel Geek. Do you know much about us? Heard about us at all?
I absolutely heard about you. I don't know a ton about it. I know
Of
the name.
course. We're just kind of, well, actually, it's growing very nice. I'm only been with it for about a year. It was a podcast that started with a couple guys in Nashville named Chris and Aaron. Chris was a music writer. Anyway, he developed a website shortly after getting the podcast going, and that is, it's all music reviews, concerts, albums. I do a lot of commentary articles where, I just share my opinion on things. So I'm one of the probably about a dozen writers for it. So anyway,
That's killer.
they would love to have somebody on if anybody in the band that would ever want to do it. If it's all right, if anybody would be interested, I'll forward your manager's contact information to Chris and Aaron, and they can take it from there.
Yeah, that'd be great, man.
They're much better at this interview thing than I am.
Dude, we love to anytime, man. We appreciate you having us. Like, we actually, there's 3 of us now in Nashville, living in Nashville.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, shit. You could probably do it. They do a ton of them in person because there's so many in Nashville.
Dude, we can come do some live acoustic, whatever.
But it started out very much around like his like of Kiss and 80s metal, but it's kind of grown out as you get the fact that I'm here shows that. So.
Okay. Very cool.
But yeah, more modern rock.
Got Anthrax on the bill, though?
Oh yeah, they actually did a 2-part episode of Anthrax. I'm really looking forward to hoping to get a minute with them, but again, I'm kind of a small fish, and I wasn't getting I didn't get any response. So doing the best I can too,
We appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot for the support. Okay. Appreciate
Thanks
it,
for
man.
your time. It was nice meeting you.
Thanks for
Nice set too.
Thanks a lot, man. Nice to meet you too.